Today, the New World dev team not only posted a dev blog video, they also posted a roadmap for not only spring, but summer and autumn as well. And it was very telling. There was a lot in that this time. I'm going to share with you the top takeaways from the dev blog video, and then we're going to go over the roadmap for the rest of the year. First off, they made it sound like more Void Gauntlet nerfs are coming in the future. They did not say when. A lot of this was rehashed material from the patch notes, but there were some really big things in here. So they're going to add constant regen while out of combat. So as soon as you get away from enemies, you'll start regenerating your HP. Very nice for leveling. Very nice quality of life for anyone who's not a healer. They also, you guys already know about this one probably, but they're going to make it so you can move while opening your inventory. They're going to make it so you can sign up for wars anywhere, and same for invasions, and make houses. You get your money back when you sell your house instead of just losing it. They're also going to make it so you can move items from storages for free, regardless of what faction owns the territory. So those are things I think they already mentioned previously. But one I'm not sure they mentioned previously was they basically said that we will be able to reset territory standing. Here's what they said.
We may even give players a way to sort of reset the choices they made in standing bonuses. So they can make choices, you know, especially now that you're 60, a lot of those experience
I was going to say all the experience bonuses that are now just a waste.
So that'll be a nice quality of life change because then you could actually level up the territory standing that gives you more XP and not regret it later. So that's kind of cool. We've been wondering about that for a long time, since launch actually. Another thing that they talked about is they made it sound like in the future they will remove the orbs from the dungeons eventually. So hopefully someday we won't have to use orbs to get into dungeons and the game will be a little bit more accessible for everybody. That'll be really fun. Hopefully that becomes a thing. Also, they made it sound like cross-region transfers are coming soon, TM, as well as paid transfers. They kind of said things that made both those sound plausible in the next maybe month, 2 months, 3 months. But they did confirm over and over and over again that there will be no more mass free tokens. Do not expect that. That will never happen again, is what they said. Although they could go back on it if something, it's kind of extraneous circumstances kind of forced it, but I think that's unlikely. Another thing that I want to talk about is they talked about support, and they actually pulled up 2 people who were in the customer support team. They made it sound like these people were at the head of the support team, like the very top. And there were a few things they said in support that I was kind of skeptical of. So they said that for all reports that they get, all reports are checked within 3 hours, which leads me to believe that a lot of it is automated. I feel like there's no chance in hell that's possible. But then again, the game has shrunk, the player base has shrunk significantly. Right, we are really far down here for the people like us who still play this game. There are not that many of us left, so maybe now it is possible, 3 hours, so maybe. Also, from what they said, I was able to guesstimate there might be 3 to 4 levels of support. This is a guess on my part. And there's the low-level team who are complete, like, garbage, basically, and don't know anything, and can get you totally screwed and get you banned for reporting and everything, and they're, like, the danger zone. Then there's a level above them that slightly is more competent, and maybe they'll be, you know, able to get you elevated to the next one, which is the one that matters. Third tier is going to be the people who actually know what they're doing, and it's probably not outsourced. It might actually be, like, in-house, and if there's a level above that, it's definitely in-house, and they will actually evaluate. So if you ever get a situation where support actually does do something and actually unbans you when you were banned for some frivolous reason that doesn't make any sense, it's probably because you finally got lucky and somehow it got elevated to one of the people who actually does their job. Another thing that was really weird to me, I don't think this guy meant this. I actually don't think he meant this the way that he said it, but he said mass reporting is a thing. I want to show you the clip and then talk about it.
About mass reporting, is it a thing? Is it not a thing? How does that work?
Yeah, so it is a thing. And unfortunately, there are bad actors, and especially can happen in company PvP type situations where players will mass report other players and try to troll them or get them kicked out of the game.
So I don't think he meant what we want to think he meant. I think he meant more like players trying to mass report people is a thing. Not that it works or not, although I still think it works if the players have the right excuse. Like when I got someone banned on accident, a friend of mine, because he was in the rich company, and so they just said that people mass reported and said that he was gold duping or doing something with money. and they just saw crazy numbers because he was in a company where they were just throwing around hundreds of thousands of coins all the time because they owned Windsward and Neverfall. And I think that got him banned because mass reporting, my personal opinion, mass reporting absolutely works if the guy has a suspicious log file and you know that, and then you try to go onto that and report for that reason, and then the low-level support who just suck at their job really bad will just look at those log files and just jump the gun and report and never give another chance to ever give it. And they'll like label the case as no way out, don't ever even look at this, don't look at it, it's for sure, you know, whatever, and then nobody will look at it even when you re-support and ask for an appeal. That's my opinion, at least. Anyway, on to another topic. Actually, before I go to another topic, funniest thing though, I got to share this, was they said if you have a video of exploits, link that video in your support ticket like I did that got me a copyright strike on YouTube. So for me personally, that's a big hell no. They're basically saying to me, yes, please send us your VOD so that we can copyright strike your YouTube and then say it was a mistake. I was dying laughing the first time I watched it. Here's the clip and here's what they said.
Go outside of the game, you could maybe include some additional information. Like if you were reporting bots, you could include maybe a link to a VOD or something like that that's been recorded.
So I personally would not recommend doing that unless you actually are not a content creator. If you want to build a YouTube, do not give your video to the support team. It is way too risky with how bad the tier 1 support is, that you could just get screwed like I did and I got a copyright strike, and it was this whole ordeal that not all of you are familiar with, but some of you probably are. So only do that if you don't actually care about your YouTube, or if you have some other medium that you could link them to, like Vimeo or some random thing, I don't know. Anyway, so other topics that they have talked about. They have said that they are always considering more merges. More merges are always a thing. And after that, they said something a little bit later that was probably the biggest thing that they said, and in my opinion, this is the biggest thing I want to highlight in the entire video, these next two things. First off, they said that casual wars and casual invasions will be coming someday to the game. They did not say when. My guess would be sometime between summer and December. Don't know when. Hopefully someday this year. That'd be amazing. They also said that they're trying to do cross-server PvE and PvP, and the PvE was even on their roadmap. The PvP, though, that might take more time, is what they made it sound like, unfortunately. So it might be like late summer, fall, or even winter before we see cross-server OPR and stuff like that. Who knows? Who knows? That's what they made it seem like, though. Here's what they said about that.
Point where we'll have, more casual versions of War and Invasion. I think that is something we totally aspire to, and I think it would be really cool. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the tech is challenging, though, so it's not something we can, say is going to happen tomorrow or next month, or it's probably not going to show up on the roadmap, but it's something we're working at. And it's one of those things you don't really want to put on a committed roadmap. It's you want to work until you get it right. That feels really good, and then we'll just put it out. Additionally,
you may have already heard the news. They have confirmed that in spring, they will be adding 3v3 PvP arenas and full PvP rewards. So it's either going to be, it's probably not going to be this month. It's probably going to be April or May that we will see PvP arenas, especially because they said in April that all they're going to focus on is bugs, bots, and whatever again, unfortunately. So we might not see the 3v3 PvP arenas till May. I sure as hell hope, though, that it's actually in April, because I really want that to be a thing, unfortunately. Unfortunately, it's not coming fast enough, it would seem. But we'll see. We will see. Also, you already know this one probably, they're resetting the cooldowns to 5 a.m., so when you make Asmodium, or you make Runic Leather, or something like that, or even a Tuning Orb, if there's a reset coming, it'll be at 5 a.m. Now, after all that, I now want to talk about the roadmap. This is the content roadmap that they showed. So in spring, we're going to see the Tempest Heart Expedition, Blunderbuss, 3v3 PvP arenas, and the PvP reward track, which I assume they mean is rewards based on your rank in PvP arena. Not entirely sure. They didn't fully elaborate, but that's what it seemed like. So the only real thing here is the Blunderbuss, and isn't Tempest Heart the dungeon coming out this month, which means 3v3 PvP arenas and PvP reward track have to come out in either April or May. If it's May, it's May, spring, because in my world, I always thought of May as summer, but maybe they're going to pretend like May is actually spring, or maybe May actually is spring by some actual definition, and if so, then it's probably going to be May. As for summer, we're going to see the Barnacles and Black Powder Expedition, so probably some water-based dungeon, and we're going to see the Expedition Group Finder, so PvE cross-server will maybe be a thing, hopefully, and there'll be a summer event. So that sounds like a pretty low load for summer. Hopefully it'll be more than that, which we will see what they do. But my goodness, unless they're only counting summer as 2 months. Is summer only June and July? I thought summer was like May, June, July, August. But maybe I just don't know. And then autumn. So in autumn, that's when we're really going to see a lot. They're going to add the Brimstone Sands territory in autumn. That is when it's going to drop. So I would assume August, September, maybe, for Brimstone Sands, especially since it's at the top of that list, but we'll see. Another expedition that goes with that, they're also going to add the Great Sword. They finally talked about the Great Sword. They also said they're going to add leaderboards, which those leaderboards are supposed to be for PvP and PvE, so that'll give us something to do routinely on this game so we don't have to get bored. And then there's going to be 2 events, a Night Vale Hallow event, I assume Halloween, and then Turkulon will return in the fall, and then I'm sure there'll be a winter event again, but autumn does not include winter, so we'll have to wait and see on that. So this is their roadmap for the game. I also want to mention that they did talk about how there are changes they want that they are not going to put on the roadmap because they want to make sure they get them right. The one example they gave was the cross-server PvP. They are working on it. They are trying to do it, but they are taking their time, and they're not going to put it on the roadmap because they don't know for sure when they'll be able to get it figured out and make it work correctly and not have people get stuck between servers and the same kind of thing as when the first transfers ever came out. They want to make sure stuff like that doesn't happen. So they're working on that, but no roadmap for that because, again, they just want to get it perfect before they do, and they don't know how long it'll take to get it perfect. And that's everything I got for you guys. That's the bulk of what they said in the dev video. That's what was up with the roadmap. You guys probably already saw in a lot of other videos. I was late today to make this because of stuff in real life, but hey, I just tried to get it done. I still play New World. You know, guys, if you guys watch my YouTube, I know when I made this video, I'm doing an insane amount of Elden Ring stuff, and that's just kind of what I'm doing right now. But as that dies down, I'll be hopefully shifting around to more games. Although there's also Tiny Tina's Wonderlands coming out, although I'm not sure how big that game's going to end up being, so I may not do a whole lot with it. We'll have to see, not sure. And then a big one that I'm excited for, if you guys are actually keeping up with me across multiple games, is Overwatch 2. The closed beta is in April 26th. It was actually announced today, and if I actually can get a key to that, then I'm going to be doing a lot with Overwatch 2. I'm actually a low-key hardcore Overwatch fan. I have like almost as many hours in Overwatch as I do in New World now. And yeah, before New World and all that, I used to play Overwatch all the time. Since launch, I'd had binges where I'd play for months at a time. So when Overwatch 2 comes out, I'll probably be posting a lot of content with that. Honestly, I don't think it'll do very good on my YouTube since my YouTube's guides and stuff. I just don't think it'll be a good fit. But I will be doing it for a little while. But I'm also going to try again in the future to do a better job of posting across multiple games, especially New World. Hopefully get back into Lost Ark at some point once Elden Ring dies down a little bit more. And yeah, that's kind of my plans for the future. If you're one of my hardcore fans from New World and you're actually watching this video at this point, if you want to know what's going on with me in this YouTube in the future, that is my personal roadmap while we're talking about roadmaps. But anyway, this has been the New World update. That's what they're doing. That's what they're talking about. If you didn't want to watch the full hour, those were the highlights. Now you know what is going on with New World, the roadmap, the future of New World for the rest of this year.